well, we'll talk next week. Okay, so we're going to 5-6. If you really want to, again, look at 5-5, which is a lot like that riddle page that we did. You can, but these notes are posted. But we're just going to go ahead to 5-6. So make sure you just do 5-6. All right, so when you have a checking account, you receive a statement and canceled checks from the bank each month. They used to come physically, like you would have all these like old checks, like as you go through like old people stuff, like your grandparents, or like I've kind of referenced this a lot. The executor, when my uncle died, he had boxes of old checks that were already cleared. So now they just scan them back to you. So if you look at like a bank statement, and then you click on that check, it'll show you. I should try to find one of mine. But you really should make sure that you're always, up to date with your correct statement. Because sometimes you'll get charged a fee that you don't agree with, or that you're going to contest, or a check didn't clear yet, so you think you have a lot of money, but you don't. That's always kind of the bummer. Let's see where one of mine is. I don't write that many checks anymore because now I do all my bills online, but so my last check was probably for like a sports thing for Max Buck. All right, let's see. What's this? $43.50. All right. So this is what a canceled check looks like on that. So like this came back. Oh, yeah, I'm on freeze. My bad. All right. So this is what a canceled check looks like, literally. So I wrote this on 9/24/24, Lincoln Way Athletic Boosters for $32, 32/ no change, Kathleen Buck. This was 4 tickets for, Max had to sell 4 tickets to the Santa Claus breakfast. So I'll have to give it to my nieces or something. Our Santa Claus days are over. But anyway, then it went through the bank. They, Lincoln Way cashed it on this day. And then when it comes through, $32 I can swing. But if I forget about, say a $500 one or something, I'm like, oh, shoot. That's going to bounce. So you got to figure it, make sure that you have that. Especially as we go deeper into this course, sometimes not all your money is in your checking account. You're going to put some in investments and some in your savings and kind of parlay your money that way. Alrighty, so that is what it looks like. Yippee-ki. And so I'm going to say that. I'm just going to say pictures of your checks. Pics of your checks. All right. Canceled checks are the checks which the bank has paid by deducting money from your account. Your statement lists all your checks that the bank has paid and your deposits that the bank has recorded since your last statement. So at the top, you'll see a lot of the deposits, especially most of you have direct deposit. Does anyone get a hard copy from their jobs? Yeah, what job? Okay.
I work for Orland Hills. I work for the village.
Yes, yeah. So the village, yeah, you're right. The village, a lot of villages or governments sometimes, especially when they're younger kids. My daughter used to work for Dunkin' when she was home, and they always had hard copy checks too. Or else she was just lazy and never filled out the direct deposit. Who knows? All right, so you might get a service charge. So a lot of you guys, especially when you're minors, when a lot of you guys might have opened it, and then once you get kicked off your parents as I almost said major, but a service charge. So you have to be careful of those. Those can add up, especially if you're at the ATM and you want cash and you're getting charged $3.50. You don't want to do that. All right, so you take your present balance, the previous one, plus any deposits, minus any checks, and minus any service charge. And then, so this is called, reconciling your bank statement. You want to make sure that you can do that. All right, so we have the previous balance of $50.10. We're going to add $240. I'll try to keep this nice here. So we're going to add, and a lot of you guys with your graphing calculator, to make it lighter, you just keep hitting second arrow up. And then to make it darker, you hit second arrow down.
So cool.
Yeah, so that's kind of nice. So 5010 plus 240 minus 19010, and then you deduct the service charge. You're deducting checks, and then you're adding deposits. Alrighty, minus 2.23, so that's 97.77. Alrighty. 123.67 plus 330.75 minus 398.17 minus $1.25. So that's 55 even. So again, you could just leave it 55. You could put a slash. You could put double zero. Alrighty. All right, so same thing here. We don't have to kill this. I'll just go to one that's different. So this one, if you don't see anything there, it's zero. So that they didn't charge you a fee. Like, I don't get charged fees because all my kids are under me. So apparently they are like, oh, we're getting enough off of her kids. But I never get charged like ATM fees or anything. It's really nice. All right, so 200 plus 573.16 less 699.44, and then no service charge, so just 73.72. All right, and then the last one, again, kind of overkill. So let's go to down here where they get a little trickier. All right, so this is a portion of Janet Snow's bank statement is shown below. Her previous balance was $183.42. What is her present balance? Okay, so sometimes this can look a little bit overwhelming when you see it here, but these are all checks and other charges. So this is what you're going to subtract as it comes through. Some people only look at their bills like once a month. So like they pay them all on payday, because some people are only paid once a month, or maybe they're paid twice a month. So sometimes people do them twice a month. My mom is so funny because she's always like, I did my straggler bills. So, you know, she'll pay the big one and then her mortgage and then taxes or whatever, and then her straggler bills. Okay, so she's starting with 183.42. So you're just kind of going to deduct this in a different way. Up here it was in a nice pretty chart, but here it's not. So this is 183.42 less 845 less 1102 oh, I'm sorry, I'm off the grid, less 85.95. All right, so this is, oh, and then don't forget this little guy. So we're going to take away $1.85. All right, so far I'm at 76.15. But then I'm going to add all of my deposits and credits. Now, some people got a little confused on that worksheet yesterday when, like, you credit your account. That is considered a deposit. If you debit your account, you lose it. So that's why it's called a debit card, because you're spending it. But debit kind of sounds like deposit, so it kind of confuses kids. But anyways, we have this old amount. So now I'm going to add $215.90 and add another $215.90. A lot of times your paychecks are the same. Mine alternates because it depends if I do like a review night or if it's union dues. Like union dues come out every other paycheck for us. So, and those are $125. It's kind of a hit. But anyways, plus $445.85. But my check is never like the same, the exact same. But a lot of people, it is the exact same. If you always just work like the standard amount of hours and you didn't call in sick or no overtime or anything like that. So $953.80 is your new balance. Sorry, I'm like scribbling all over this, but that's where this would go. $953.80. All right. right. So let me freeze that for a sec if you're still catching up. Did you have to do a survey that you missed? Yeah. I know, they're big on their surveys. If you guys don't do that, they will call you down. All right. So kind of the same idea with William Powers' bank statement. So he starts with 290.88. I'll just do this all at once now. So now I'm going to subtract. Can you see that now? 112 and subtract 1238 and subtract 47.98. If there was a service charge, that's where it would be, but there's no service charge. So then we're going to add 105.55, and we'll add 112.48, and we'll add 105.80, and then we have 442.35. Alrighty. So again, if you know that you wrote a check and you don't see it here in your bank statement, then you have to mentally or somehow, some way, oh, I know I wrote a $200 check, so really I only have $242.35. So you might want to asterisk yourself. So I kind of have a running total, and then when that check clears, I'm fine. Oh my gosh. Shoot, you guys. Sorry. Well, that's why I did this all at once. Sorry. So I subtract, no service charge, add, total. And then this is what I was saying, if I knew mentally I had an outstanding check, I just made up 200, but then I kind of put that in, because they don't, you'll see this one cleared on the 2nd, but then the 3rd one cleared on the 5th, and then that little guy, he didn't clear till the 20th. Especially if you're writing a check to your high school, to Sandburg or to Lincoln Way in my case, they take upwards of a month to cash it sometimes. And you have 6 months to usually cash a check. Do I have that here? Let me see. Does it show it void? Sometimes it'll say void after 180 days. Okay. No, it doesn't. So, but if you get a fancy check, I don't know, an investment or something, that usually will say typed under there because they have to clear their statement. So if you don't cash it in 6 months, usually you might have lost it or something. So then they'll reach out again. Did you ever see those Illinois things where people have money out there? It's usually from a lost check. All right, I'll finish up so that I can stamp and it'll be grand, and then you got your homework. A portion of Irene Brooks' bank statement is shown below. Her previous balance was $199.27. What is her present balance? Okay, so I'm just going to do this all at once again. So I start $199.27, subtract $147.50, subtract 25, subtract $417.75, subtract 50, and then I usually just circle this for myself so that I remember it, but that's only 50 cents. So be careful. You're subtracting 0.5. I'm kind of thinking of your Canvas quiz test, So, So because I did all the deductions at once, it looks like I'm in the hole, but now let's do our additions. Okay, so I'm going to add $564.50 and add $221.37 and add $164.22. So it might not be the smartest thing to do, but most people keep their checkbook in order, and then your bank statement, it's fine as long as this number matches what you have at the end. Does that make sense? All right, and then finally, what's her present balance? So 1035.87, take away take away 0.2. I mean, that's obviously showing its age, 20 cents. Give it up. Now they're like $2 minimum. All right. So we're at $954.44. Add $199.49. Add $120.52. So $1274.45. Alrighty. So just be careful. You want to start, subtract, add, and then your balance. So tomorrow's section, we'll kind of talk about that official word I mentioned the other day, the reconciling. But we just won't get into a religious talk again. All right. And then I'll come around and stamp. It's going to be amazing.